So he came up from Montgomery County as a commissioner, and he's tied to many NGOs, so non-governmental organizations, one of them being MCAP, which Sean Connolly has very much been educated on and has educated me on. Right. MCAP is basically where they're dealing with children within the youth services and dealing with family courts and foster care and everything like that, which that in of itself, we already know. I don't know how people don't know that sexual trafficking happens. The courts are incredibly corrupt when it comes to families and breaking up families. But MCAP is being fed a whole bunch of money, which his wife, Josh Shapiro's wife, helps to run. Many of these kids are being pulled out of homes. There have been victims of the Jewish community where they have powerful husbands who have taken their children from them, and Josh Shapiro has been a part of it, and you bring in all of these NGOs and you have all this money behind it. That's just a small part of his corruption. The Toll Brothers fraud, you can go to tollbrothersfraud.com and read about the mortgage fraud and the building fraud, and the Security Exchange Commission is involved. But what is near and dear to me is when he was the Pennsylvania Attorney General in 2020, he was on the ballot. He was a Biden elector, which never should have happened because someone in that position is not supposed to actually be an elector, but he was, and they let that slide. But what happened was, when we gave over our disclosures to William McSwain, who was the U.S. Eastern District attorney, and we gave over his, the information about the fraud, and he had gone to Bill Barr, and Bill Barr said, no, you're not doing anything about it, hand it off to Josh Shapiro. And Bill McSwain still sticks to that story to this day, and I believe him, because we had submitted those affidavits and disclosures on November the 7th, and on November 17th, I had 2 armed special agents sent to my home, sent to Greg Centrum's home, personally sent by Josh Shapiro, to intimidate, harass, and obstruct the investigation, while he was simultaneously using public funds to broadcast that the 2020 election was not stolen, that it was free and fair, and magically, 2 days before the election, he knew exactly how much more Joe Biden would win against Trump. To send 2 special agents to my front door, and then when I asked for public records about that interaction, they got nothing.
Wow.
And their names are the special agents Aida Marcial and the special agent Ben Watson, and I call them out all the time. Been involved. I've had attorneys reach out to us that have gotten phone calls. He's directly connected to a lot of the judges, like Judge Barry Dozer, who just passed away. These all from top to bottom, Josh Shapiro has been involved. I've had attorneys reach out to us that have gotten phone calls from Josh Shapiro telling them that they were not allowed to represent Greg or I in the courts. I could go on and on and on. But he's directly connected to the University of Pennsylvania. He was on the board of trustees. His father, Stephen Shapiro, is very big in the medical society in Pennsylvania. They were making money hand over foot because that's where all the COVID jabs were generated, was in the University of Pennsylvania. That's where, Joe Biden was a professor for the Annenberg Foundation, which ran factcheck.org. That's where Biden, left his classified documents, was inside of University of Pennsylvania. The amount of evidence that I have against Shapiro, I don't say that, just willy-nilly that he's a criminal. He's a criminal.
Right.
The minute you step on my front porch and personally send 2 agents to my front door as a witness, someone needs to justify that for me. That is criminal activity. That's the stuff of like the mob.
Right.
Showing up at my front door as a United States citizen to intimidate and harass me as a witness. So that in and of itself, that is why I call him a criminal. And I'm telling you, as long as I'm breathing, I will make sure that one day that man does the perp walk.
What do you have to say about the comments from President Pro Tem Kim Ward and a number of other Republican women senators who have questioned why your former legislative secretary stayed on as long as he did?
Yeah, look, first off, I'd just say consider the source when it comes to the President Pro Tem.
Every corner of Pennsylvania, families are hurting. Since Josh Shapiro became governor, our economy has tumbled. Today, Pennsylvania has the 5th highest taxes in the country, utility prices skyrocketing, and the highest grocery price increases in America. A new study has exposed that under Shapiro, Pennsylvania now ranks as one of the worst states in the nation. And it's about to get even worse. Shapiro's state budget isn't just late for the 3rd straight year. It's bloated with waste and will likely mean another tax increase. Yet, where's Shapiro? Instead of Pennsylvania, Shapiro's been spending his time in other states, raising money from the most radical liberals to bankroll his campaign for president. According to newly released documents, Shapiro spent $18,000 on hotel rooms in California alone. Shapiro has also been traveling out of state to appear on the most liberal talk shows, including The View and The Daily Show and Colbert, to talk about his run for president. The bottom line, Shapiro's a career politician who's always been running for a different job than the one he has. And Pennsylvania's families have paid a heavy price. But this isn't where this story ends.